What's happening, world?
Hey, what it do?
Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Sean, here at Where Media Meets Studios, in conjunction with VJ TV, Farrell Films, History in the Making Entertainment, Keep It Cloudy Productions, Drop Knock, shout out to the Venus Lounge, Camouflage. Hey, happy birthday weekend for Camouflage. My guy ain't here tonight. He out celebrating his birthday weekend out there. Do your thing, bro. We got a great show that lined up for y'all tonight. This show been in the making for a minute. I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves as usual, starting with my co-host.
Hey, what's up with it, man? This is your boy Farrell, man, sipping on this yak, man. Talk to me. I talk back.
This is Hometown Hero, your favorite self-love photographer, and I'm sipping on water in Sprite.
He is sipping on the non-alcoholic
beverages. Is it water or is it vodka? If it was me, you would know. Yeah. But I'm gonna keep it mysterious.
Yeah. What's happening? So welcome to the show, my brother. We've been trying to work this. We've been trying to get this man here for a minute. But you know, everybody be busy, stuff be happening. So
and I never want somebody to think I'm catting off.
No, you busy. I know how it be. Absolutely. But when you persistent, you be like, "Hey, what's up?" I be like, "I ain't forgot."
And the truth is like I happened to have a gig today. I was like, "Oh man, I ain't got nothing to do." Like, man, let me hit my guy. And see, I know he been trying to get me, And I'm a person, like when. Like you said, well, persistence pays off. So it's like, oh man, I ain't doing that. Man, instead of going to sit somewhere, man, let me go kick it with the brothers.
Yeah. So welcome to the show. For those that don't know you, tell everybody who you is and what you got going.
I'm a genius. No.
Yeah.
I am what I call self-love photographer. Mm-hmm. And my whole brand of photography is about, like I said, self-love.
Yes.
All my clients are black women. I shoot other people.
Yeah.
But all my clients are black women.
But the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation is black women because at the end of the day, a lot of times people feel like, black men don't care about black women and all that, and that's not true.
Care about melanated women.
I don't know where that narrative even came from.
I don't know.
See it though being.
Yeah, it must be the people that wear the little Band-Aid on the ear.
In my community and people who have raised me and loved on me, whether it be family, friends, girlfriends, whatever.
Woman is God.
I was loved on when I wasn't even worthy of being loved on.
Exactly. And that's what I always say, the black woman is God. And they're like, what you mean? I'm like, well,
woman is God.
Because they always say, they can say the black man is God. It's like, okay, let me test your theory. If a man gets a woman pregnant, yeah, she can get pregnant, but she can also lose the child. She has to cultivate that child for the whole 9 months. She has to deliver that child. She's the first teacher. Mm-hmm. And then not to get all deep, but yeah.
We get deep here.
Yeah, so.
We get deep here.
Good.
That's why I say the black woman is God. And
the melanated woman.
Yes, absolutely, the melanated woman. And what I also like to do is that a lot of times that I've met women who've done photo shoots or wanted to do photo shoots, and they got other photographers out there that they creeps. I mean, just call it what it is.
Dudes.
They be trying to instead of paying me, give me some pussy. I'm like, listen, baby, I like money more than I like pussy. So. And then it might
Control
be
your passion.
Yeah, you might have a service that I might be interested in, and vice versa. Okay, we can barter because this world was built on bartering.
Trust me.
But
being here in this space, we've had a couple people attach themselves to our movement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they was damn near like werewolves. Yeah. They was so much of a predators onto the between the ones that they kind of pressured, the ones who were willing to barter, and the ones who come in the game and think, oh, this is what I gotta do.
I remember, I kid you not, a girl texted me like 3 o'clock in the morning. Why she texted me 3 o'clock in the morning, I have no idea. But she sent me this long message about wanting to do a shoot, and like at first, sometimes like when it be stuff, I'm like, oh, this is some bullshit. Like. So I reached back like, oh, thank you for, reaching out. I don't know why you reached out at 3 o'clock in the morning, but hey, you might have just been on your mind.
That's them fishing hours.
Exactly. Like, ain't nothing open at 3 o'clock in the morning but legs and mouths. Right. So
it's them witching hours, but go ahead.
And you know, I was like,
I wish In-N-Out was open at 3 in the morning, because that's when I be waking up like, man, I'm hungry.
But yeah, so I asked her, I was like, well, how did you find me? And she said, I follow you on TikTok. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I usually don't get clients from TikTok, so that's cool. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, well, send me your TikTok so I can see at least what you look like, so I can know who I'm talking to. She sends me a couple pictures of her. They weren't like nude or nothing, but like one of them was sexy and it was nice. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, you do look good. Like, but at the same time, I was like, oh, baby, you didn't have to send me a picture. You could have just. But I was like, you know, and we eventually ended up not working together. I don't know if it was the pricing or whatever, but you know, I've also had people who just get straight to the point. Like, listen, I'm like, I know you're a photographer, and I'm like, yo, I don't
work like that.
I don't work like that. Like, I'm not this horny hippo that just want to sleep with every one of my clients. Now, obviously, as a photographer, if you're in a set and a woman walks into your studio or wherever you're shooting, and you're a human being,
we got eyes.
So it's like, okay, she might be feeling you might be feeling her, and you guys might get together and date and get married, whatever. That kind of stuff happens. But that's just two human beings meeting each other and just having to find
now,
interest.
one of the things I'll be running into as a creative is that, you know, I ain't no trick. I'm the game guy personified. So ain't gonna be no exchanges, no none of that. You know, but I've actually found myself cutting off some of the talent because I'm sitting there like, okay, because sometimes I look at, because some of these, I ain't gonna lie, some of these niggas, I keep it cordial.
For sure.
I keep it cordial, or there's a certain level of respect. But I'm one of them type of dudes, you're a brother, I'm a brother, keep a certain level of respect on like how I greet you, this and that. But on a real personal level, some of these dudes I look at is like, dude, you kind of a sleaze.
Yeah,
you kind of a slime ball. You're a low vibrational human being. Yeah. So now I look over here at the actress, and I'll be like, man, if you slept with that nigga thinking you gonna get on, even though he ain't on himself, then your vibration is on a level that I can't really have you around what I'm trying to do.
I had a client who told me literally, she said, you want to know why I hired you? And I said, why? And she said, well, outside of me liking your work, she said, you're the only photographer I talked to that didn't try to fuck me.
And
I'm like, really? And
but some of them, if you fall for that, then that means if you fall for what that nigga got going on and what that's backwards ass game he kicking, I gotta kind of be like, okay, you obviously ain't vibrating on a level that I really want to collaborate with you.
Gotcha.
I agree.
Yeah. So before, we jumped right into it, but
So
hey, but it's free flowing conversation.
Yes, sir.
So I want to ask you, because I'm a fan of your work. I've been watching for a minute, many a moon. What drew you to photography? Where did it start? Take me to the beginning.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I always say that everything happens to me on accident. And I mean, now that I get older, I realize it's not on accident. So I moved to Georgia like 10 years ago. I wasn't there very long because I was in the country. So, and coming from the city, like, it's a whole different world. I appreciated the quietness, but I didn't appreciate the fact the liquor stores closed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, no liquor on Sunday.
Yeah, like that whole thing.
That don't work for me because I'm one of them dudes. I ain't drinking no more.
Friday and Saturday.
So it's cool. But then 11 o'clock come and I be like, man, I'm finna get towed down. And we in a dry county.
Exactly. So I used to take pictures on my phone. Not even of people. I would take pictures of shit like dumpsters and post it on Instagram and be like, the world is in a garbage can. Like shit like that I thought was deep.
So you found that you had an eye for this.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a photographer. Like, it was just some shit as a hobby. And literally, I came back to California. I moved back to California. I was on my way to buy a phone that I didn't need, but I just wanted to spend some money.
That's how you said spend.
Exactly.
Obey.
iPhone 15.
Exactly. I was on my way to buy an iPhone. Embrace the blue. I don't know how people have Androids.
Yeah.
I got both.
But
it don't work for me.
On my way out the door, my homeboy Kenzie, shout out to my boy Kenzie from Dope Air Magazine.
Shout out to Dope Air.
He called me and was like, "Hey, bro, you want to buy a camera?" And I'm like, "Well, what kind of camera?" And I knew nothing about cameras. He was like, "Oh, it's a little Canon, blah blah blah." and he had lenses the whole nine, which he really could have charged me more money for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Give me $250 for it." I said, "I don't need a new phone. Fuck
shit." The lenses was worth $250.
Exactly, the lens was $250 alone.
Yeah,
I don't know where he got it from. I was like, "Fuck it." And then ever since then, I've been a photographer. I didn't got bit before. I didn't have a camera and laptop stolen right after a shoot, which is crazy.
Yeah,
crazy shit.
But
shout out to the bippers, man. You rotten hell.
Yeah,
I'm totally against
slide down a razor and slide down a razor into an Olympic-sized pool filled with motherfucking ethanol alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Even though it ain't wise, anytime I see some bipping going on, I can't resist the urge to be like, "Hey!"
Yeah, I mean, there was a young brother that got killed.
Yeah, like I said, it ain't wise. Like I said, it ain't
wise.
Yeah,
bipping is not a hustle. And it's like I understand niggas be broke, but at the same time, there's so many opportunities to make legal money now. There's no excuse.
When I was broke, I went and hugged the block. When I was in that category where I didn't have legal things going on, I just went and hugged.
But even then, you can make money on your phone.
Like, you can make money.
It's a new era.
Conversation run a nation.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Like, doing content, but people
you
are
can be lazy. A sex phone operator, nigga.
You can.
I got a deep ass voice, and my regular job, motherfuckers be like, "Hey, do you?" I be like, "Yeah." I'm just saying. That's another story, though. You niggas ain't ready for that.
For the photography, so I'm so like, I guess, popular.
Mm-hmm.
Or just because I'm a good guy, like naturally, I post like, "Yo, I got bit," like, and man, somebody I went to school with,
I seen your shit.
No, was in prison. This man is in prison for life.
Damn.
Reached out to me and was like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna have my girl send you $100 towards your window." And I was like, "For real?" Like, he was like, "Yeah, but you a good dude. That's fucked up." Like,
that's universe.
And then a couple other people hit me, like Mr. Fab reached out to me.
Shout out to Fab.
Yeah, that's my big brother. He reached out to me. He was like, "What you need?" I was like, "Man, I need a new camera." Like, I was like, "It ain't gotta be brand new." But then just my community kind of rallied around me and was just like, "Bro, you not one of them people we want that to happen to, or we should allow that to happen to." So I got lucky where I found a camera which was it was a year or the model behind the one that I had, but the guy I got it on eBay. The dude that bought it never opened it, like, and he I think I paid like $100 more than what I paid for the original.
Filmmaking stuff, like what he just said. If you're trying to get into the game, but your ends ain't quite right, don't ever discount getting on eBay.
Man, I've had
really good deals
like
on
Amazon, eBay, and like I said, it was in the like the dude was like, "Oh, yeah, I bought it," and just realized that I really wasn't into photography. I never opened it. I just never made the time to take it back to the store. And I was like, "Run it."
There it is.
And that's the camera that I have today. I've had it probably maybe like I think that happened like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
And the cold part about it is that it's such a beautiful thing that this thing happened to you. And if people sometimes be like, "Oh, I don't get no support," this now I'm being like, I don't know what that is, because if I even seem like I'm having a bad day on social media, I'm gonna get 17 DMs of, "Blood, you okay? You all right? What's going on?" So I can't never sit around talking about, "Oh, I ain't got no support." When cats do post that, "Oh, I ain't got no support," or niggas ain't bad, be like, "Okay, you might want to revamp."
Yeah, I tell people it's 7 billion people in the world. You mad because the people in your family and your community.
Yeah.
But you also gotta be a stand-up human being, like in a real way.
The universe is undefeated. It's like you said, listening to your story when you said somebody who I use 6 degrees of separation in this dialogue, because people know your spirit. The universe taps people into. The universe is consistent.
Yeah,
the universe is undefeated. So you got tapped in. They was like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, bro, we know you stand up. Woo, woo, woo." And it just boom.
Yeah, I read something on Instagram. It was like the beautiful thing about being an honest person, real person, is you don't have to keep up with a facade. And I'm very big on my reputation.
Thank you. All you got is your balls and your word.
And especially with like with like things like scamming and things like, or being like a what they now call a predator,
nefarious characters.
Yeah, like
I
don't want it to be. Now, of course, I mean I ain't perfect. Like I'm pretty sure there's women I've dated in the family. I'm like he's an asshole. Like
bitch.
But
it's like.
But there's a difference between them saying he's an asshole and them saying he's evil.
Exactly.
You know, some of these cats out here.
I mean, one thing
be like, dog, you actually evil.
Yeah, like
one thing not a good person at all.
Yeah, one thing that I'm proud of, there's never a woman that I've ever dated that say I put my hands on her. There's never a woman that can say I sexually assaulted her. You might say I might have said something that might have made you feel comfortable because that's uncomfortable, and it might be something not necessarily predatory, but it's like, yo, I wasn't feeling how you said. And I'm a person like you could tell me like if I said something to you that you like, yo, I wasn't really feeling that,
nothing
or whatever.
Wrong.
Like just communicate to me, and I can be, and so I can say, oh, I apologize. That was not my intent.
There it is.
But you know, I live and I thrive on, you know, just being a good individual. Most of my friends are women. So
first they can say about me is he borrowed money from me, and every time I came over there to get my money, we ended up having sex, and I forgot about the money.
I remember one time, it was actually this year, Black Joy Parade.
I was there.
I was marching. I know. That's what I'm to tell you. I was marching. Me and my fraternity. We was in the parade.
I think I saw you.
And I was like, hey, yeah, I had my suit and my shit on. The squares, you know what it is. And I was,
my brother's a Mason as well.
Yeah.
The second oldest fraternity. Shout out to them.
Yeah. No. The first.
But second, yeah. Boule. But
Before them. Anyway. So, and I seen you, I was marching, but I was in line formation, and I was like, bro, and I think you looked, but I was like, hit me.
Do we need to get Jay Stalin back in here?
No.
Shout out to the bro. That's a deep thinker right there.
Yeah, Jay Stalin is a good dude.
Oh yeah, he was here last week. We was chopping it up. That guy has a fucking.
Yeah, Jay Stalin is one of those guys. Like before I met him, and I would listen to his music, and you know, I'm like, oh, it's just like. But when I actually met, you know, you like kind of sit back and observe him. Like Jay Stalin is really a good dude. So I know we was kind of going on stuff. Yeah, I just wanted to say, that's a good brother.
So back to the lens, and you
yes,
your whole appreciation of, because I tell you, we ain't black, we melanated. So your vision of the melanated queen and what you're doing, because you do the plus sizes. I've been watching.
I love me a plus size.
I'm just saying, no, your appreciation of the melanated woman is paramount, and that's what's needed in this shit. Yeah, because society puts us in this. Society puts you in a predator mode. Yeah. Of having it got to be the prototype of they got to be this and that and that only, and you think outside the box. A real motherfucker think outside the box and come back and destroy the box.
Yeah, I tend to
literally and physically.
Yeah, I tend to like to do shit where not necessarily just to piss people off in a bad way, but just like,
but it's dope.
Yeah, like when I was young, so like I probably have had 2 skinny girlfriends in my whole life.
Okay,
and so. When I got, when I really started to get into dating and dating plus, my friends used to crack on me, and I would only date black girls. It's nothing wrong with anybody else, but I believe it's like you said, as melanated people, we supposed to love us first. Now, if you meet a white woman, a Mexican, whatever, you fall in love, that's cool. Like I had this conversation with a friend of mine. He met a Mexican queen, and I said, man, if you like her, like shit, date her, like. And so, but. My friends used to always crack. I'm like, man, you gotta start. And when you stop thinking with your dick, and now mind you, I'm like 16 at this time, and I was definitely thinking with my dick. But of course, it's like, when you actually sit,
you think outside than
that. Exactly. So, but like,
that's so hard though.
Like you start to,
especially at a young age.
You start talking. Oh, I shot that. Oh.
Yeah, I'm on your Instagram.
But yeah, you start actually talking to people and getting like seeing who they are as people. It's like, yo, this girl who might be a little big on the bigger side, she deep in the motherfucker. Like
you and just to quantify what you're saying, I mean, society once again puts you in and I call it a predator, but it just puts you in a mindset of everything that's good got to be fit in this box,
right?
And that's not true, because shit. Look at let's take it to. I'm gonna go there.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Put your seatbelt on.
You know I'm with it.
What's happening? Shirley.
Oh, yeah.
Was a big chick, but she was the homie.
With a great afro.
Mm-hmm.
She was the homie and always down. The homie.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you need?
Had they back all the way.
Yeah, she was gonna
The
push
homie.
the line.
Right. Another show. I'll go to Tyler Perry, even though I'm not a fan of his movies because he
I
needs
like
some
that
help.
last one he just
I ain't watched it yet, but I'm just
I ain't
saying.
really a fan of I'm a fan of Tyler Perry as a
If you're
human
sitting on the
being.
couch and it's Saturday night and you're sitting on the couch
Saturday
with
nights I'm usually busy doing some shit.
but I'm just saying, if you're sitting
that
on the
make
couch
me
with the wife ain't nothing
add
else
to my
on,
name.
it's some cool entertainment.
And
Okay.
I'm a fan of Tyler Perry.
I'll watch
What
that
he's
shit on
done.
the Tuesday after I eat some.
In fact, I'll tell you to be
tofu
honest,
sandwiches.
if it wasn't Tyler Perry, people would have been like, nice try. If it was an up and coming dude,
So-
nice try.
I will say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, and I haven't watched the movie.
Right.
Because I know it got 0 tomatoes on Rotten whatever, but they
And
said because
that's
it
wild.
had no funny business in it. I haven't
oh,
watched it yet.
Oh yeah.
Medea didn't pop up nowhere.
There wasn't no funny business, so I can. If that's true, I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I.
Oh,
feel-
none.
but then
Funny
you gotta-
business. Oh, none
No,
at
but
all.
think about a movie like Malcolm
And I
X.
respected that too.
Think about a movie like Malcolm X. Black people was like, yo, Denzel should have won an Oscar for that.
Of course,
But or
there's
even
always two different versions of Hollywood.
yeah, or even like What's Love Got to Do with Angela Bassett should have won an Oscar for
she
that.
actually was robbed.
She
of
definitely
course.
was robbed.
Who
Even
won
like a
it?
movie like The Color Purple. Like
Yeah.
I mean, which as an adult,
That should have swept.
it should have swept. As an adult, I'm like, yeah, Color Purple ain't really for me. But you know, when I was younger,
Thank you for
When we
saying
was
that.
younger.
yeah, when I
We
was
didn't
younger,
under-
like
we
okay,
was-
but
we
now
was
that I
in a
kind of
different mindset.
understand, now I got a different mindset.
And I don't want to see that shit as a damn near 50-year-old man.
Put you like this. I'm in a
Yeah.
group chat with some younger cats, and to them, The Color Purple is an abomination.
Right.
Yes.
But man bashing, blah.
Right.
But I try to explain to them.
All right, so,
Yes, it is trauma porn. It is black bashing.
Right.
However, as a creative filmmaker,
fuck that.
It's a great movie.
It's a
Creatively,
masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
same
Creatively.
thing what we were saying with R. Kelly.
But
The
then
world kicks my ass enough for me to not watch some black trauma
Exactly.
porn
Thank
that's
you.
dedicated to kicking my ass.
But-
But as a filmmaker,
Same
I have
way-
to admire that this is truly an epic movie.
right.
The same way you got a bunch of these black shows that we watch, tune into now.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with Rock yesterday.
What was that Slim and what was that movie Slim and
I
where
know
they was
it's
bank robbers on the run?
Yeah,
that
Slim and
was
Queen. Yeah,
It's Queen the Slim.
Queen.
Oh
Slim.
man, I turned that shit off 20 minutes
I-
in, and anytime anybody says it's a
Because-
good movie, I look at them like
Like
the
you
portrayal,
not like us.
the portrayal of us is paramount, and as a connoisseur
Mm-hmm.
and a person who I thrive on, like you said, being a good person, being a good dude,
Right.
and just calling shit what it is. I see a lot of shit that we run the culture, every culture
right.
that we put on platforms, and
true.
sometimes the shows, and this is unpopular opinion, I watch shows that us and we put on, and they good in the beginning, and then the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because
it's-
the minstrels,
I mean, it's like
the
Empire.
minstrels and the
I stopped
minstrels
watching
and
that
the,
shit.
the same
Pawn to
gender
pawn,
attraction and the
P
minstrels
Valley. I stopped
always
watching
show
that
up.
shit middle of the first
I
season.
watched one episode of P Valley and was like, I'm
this
never
some
watching
bullshit.
this shit again.
Don't get me wrong.
I
love tits and
and
ass.
shout out to my homegirl Shorty. She's actually on P. She was on
No
season 2.
disrespect to the actual actors and whatnot. But
It's
I
just the
look at the
content.
direction.
I just had to
and the
hold my
shit
nose
of
and
some
watch
of
it
these
because
shows.
P Valley to me was a masterpiece. See, because I'm older, I'm still stuck in the stage that even if it's
Where the fuck is the
it's
Claire
a
Huxtable?
minstrel, even if it's a minstrel streak going on or something that I'm
show.
diametrically opposed to because
Right.
it's obviously a gender.
Right.
If it's some black folks on the screen,
Yeah,
I still tune in, even though I'm conscious of the fact that they're pushing an agenda,
Yeah.
or this is literally
After a while,
a minstrel
can't.
show. But I'm
Yeah.
still in the stage in my life that if it's some black
can't.
folks on the screen,
even a show
I'm
like
watching.
Pose, right, which was like centered around gay folks, trans. I thought that show was a fucking masterpiece.
which
And
one?
it's Pose. It tells the
Oh,
story.
okay.
And I'm
I've
not.
never
I never
watched
actually
that
watched
show.
it.
Yeah, I'm not gay. I'm not any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I got a lot of gay friends.
Well, that's me with P Valley.
Salute. Yeah.
I understand where some people would be like, "Oh man, it's too much of this bullshit." Exactly. But I thought the overall show was such a masterpiece. I still watched it, even though some people was like, man, I can't get into
but like
it.
Empire, right? When it got to be too much of the dudes kissing, I'm like, yo, I don't like all the.
I turned off Empire at the end of the last season when they went so hard anti-religion. And I'm like, even though I'm not necessarily an advocate of religion,
me neither.
But I do realize that so many of my brothers and sisters out here need some type of moral compass, some type of, and if Sky Daddy and Caesar Borgia is what gets you to at least emulate a decent human being,
I mean, I look at it like
I'm okay with that.
Think about it like this: a person who might have been on crack for 20 years, right? You ever feel like
if you think Jesus saved you,
that more power to you.
Just like, exactly.
What dude saying Menace to Society? What Charles Dutton said in Menace to Society when he was talking to Cain.
When he started Cain, he said, if
Jesus or Allah, whoever makes
got my son on the right path, then more power to him. Basically, I'm paraphrasing.
And that's why I'm coming from.
And that's why
and that's how I feel.
If you believe that it wasn't your willpower, it was somebody beyond the cosmos.
Give yourself
if that's what it takes to make you a good human being, then amen.
I mean, my mom is like, I ain't gonna say she's super religious, but like she in church, like she used to take us to church and we didn't go, and then after a certain period of her life, she just started really going real heavy. Mm-hmm. And like when I was like 14, she actually like, you going to church with me today? I was like, no, and she never made me go back. Mm-hmm. But I would always question, things, not to be disrespectful, but just like, this don't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not really buying into this. But I'm looking at it from the aspect of, if this is what you think that you need to be grounded to become a morally better person, then guess what?
Do it.
I ain't finna talk down on it.
If Jesus stopped you from fucking robbing people, great.
Yeah. If that's what it takes for you to become centered and at least attempt to be a decent human being, then I will bend these knees and pray with you.
Yeah, I used to go hard on religion, especially Christianity. But when I got older, I was like, what?
When
it's really just an opinion of mine, and so I tell people like, hey, I ain't dissing what you believe in, but hey, check this out too.
Yeah,
Now I just meet people where they at.
Me too.
And yeah, true, I agree. Like, religion is a paradox box that is used to control.
I agree with that 100%.
It's an opiate.
Yeah, it is. The deadliest drugs in the world is sugar and religion.
Whew.
Sex deep. Is the third. And the ego was fourth. Actually, let's swap. No, ego was fourth. The thing I will say, when you look at these shows, for the sake of conversation, I had a conversation with Rock yesterday. Mm-hmm. And there's a popular show in our melanated demographic, I'm gonna try to do this. Usually, I usually give a fuck about political correctness, but I'm gonna try to be, in the climate we in. You got people running around with band-aids on their ears.
They bastardized
nowadays and shit, and
that's
this
crazy.
Whole shit. This shit is soap opera. The fucking politics is wrestling.
I ain't even a conspiracy theory
but listen to this.
I looked at that shit and
I was
like,
watching
are y'all
this show.
Really buying this?
I've watched this show. I'm a fan of this show.
Right.
It's one of the melanated shows with us, mm-hmm. and it's by us, and all this shit.
FUBU, for us, by us.
And this show, I'm not bashing individuals or nothing. I'm just basically really, this is my observation. And I could be off base with it. I'm not opposed to somebody having a different opinion of my assessment, mm-hmm. because it's an opinion, basically, and I have a right to it.
Yeah,
it's just my opinion.
Yeah, everybody got a right to an opinion.
I don't take it personal, but we got a show that we look at and it's great. Numbers is doing cool and the show is good, but there's not. And this show is created by a melanated woman, but this show does not show one solid melanated sister. All the women in this show have shady dealings, shady something, and it's not. And don't get me wrong, it's a great show. But I thought about the shit, and because you got to look past the surface, because niggas, we only go surface deep with the scratch. I can see the line, And niggas don't hold themselves accountable beyond that.
Can I speak on behalf of niggas, though?
Go ahead.
Some of us are raised by parents who got the worst of the educational system, blue-collar jobs. So critical thinking, putting things into context are not drilled into a lot of us. And a lot of us ain't even raised.
That's true.
We just simply, you better not be too loud. Sit down at the dinner table. And when they say be in the house by a certain time, and anything you got going on outside the house, you just
don't
play
embarrass
it off.
me in the public.
Exactly, but we're not necessarily instilled with the ability to think, morals, anything like that. So that produces a generation of niggas who can only go superficial.
I get it. And that's the thing. I get it. But once again, like I said, I like this show. I'm a fan of this show. I watch it. I'm going to continue to watch it.
Yeah.
But I really just had to sit back and say,
but as a thinker,
I'm not bad as a thinker.
You have some problems,
the thinker, yes, I do.
Okay.
And the thinker in me start, because when shit that irritates your spirit, or when you really be like, wait a minute, whoa, damn, I didn't think of that before. Because we've all fell for the banana in the tailpipe. We all watched that Beverly Hills Cop movie and was like,
yeah, I cut that shit off after like 15 minutes.
I love Eddie. I love Eddie more.
We all watched.
My own father.
I ain't seen the last Bad Boys, but Martin's not Martin. But I mean,
it was actually pretty good.
No, that was.
I haven't watched it.
No, the last one
they tried
was
to get
good.
deep with it. Put it like this: if a nigga say he don't like that last Bad Boys, it's because it goes deeper than the superficial.
Okay, so that's what I need. You know me,
and that irritates.
I'm a cognac drinker, deep thought thinker. But with this show, and once again, for the sake of transparency, I'm not gonna say the name of the show. I just want you to. You
niggas who can't think on your level will think you just bashing.
Exactly, and I'm never bashing. Yeah, all I'm saying
nobody
is
can have an opinion now they're a hater.
Exactly. I just like, and I like the show. I'm just like, whoa, damn! I really looked at the show like, well, wait a minute. This show was made by a woman, melanated woman, and I'm not bashing. Once again, I'm not. But I thought, like, damn, show me a real grit. And there's a part of me that says with this show, it's showing the adversity that we go through, but y'all bash Cosby. Y'all bash the king of R&B. That nigga deserves what he got, but I'm just saying he's still the king of R&B.
Still the king always.
But I'm just saying, let's call shit what it is.
Yeah.
Where's the Claire Huxtables? Where's the Rudies? Where are these images of these melanated sisters that we need?
Side note that you bring that up. Do you know originally Rudy was supposed to be Jaleel White?
Damn.
I heard she was supposed to be a boy.
Rudy was supposed to be a boy.
Yeah.
That's why she was Rudy.
Yeah. I guess the original name was supposed to be Rudolph or whatever. I don't know. But yeah. I was like, man, that's crazy.
And on another side note, in regards to how you brought
DK, what's happening?
40 years of documented attempting to uplift the community, push education, not even going after the almighty dollar, because trying to uplift. Yes, okay. For the dummies who will take what I'm saying as a defensive Bill, no. Bill obviously had some sexual deviancy, right?
Yeah.
But Bill also had 50 years of trying to uplift
niggas.
Do we say, I respect the bill that went to the public, but I condemn the bill that was doing things behind the counter? Or do we just say, fuck Bill, period? That's what's wild to me, because it's like, if Bill was my father, I would have to say, hey, I don't condone none of that shit he did, but I also know that this man was on the front line to make sure I had a better life. So if I have mixed feelings, that ain't me.
Yeah, people think you're not supposed to have mixed feelings. And I mean, even to the point, to the R. Kelly point, because I knew we were going to
even to this day, I can't even to this day, and they say Bill was raping women, I still can't bring myself to say, man, fuck Bill.
Yeah.
Even though if it was a random dude and they said, "Oh, he was raping me," fuck him.
Yeah,
give him 100 years. But in the case of Bill, I'm saying, okay, Bill need to do time for the wrong he did. But I gotta acknowledge the fact that there was times in my life that Bill was larger than life.
I mean, Bill was American.
It was a proper representation.
Like for there were kids in the hood that didn't have dads where Cliff Huxtable
was. Like I said, Bill was larger than life.
And even like
me and Sean suffer from the same disease. We thinking niggas. So sometimes we can't accept the narrative of this is good, this is bad, because we think.
Yeah.
And like with this show he's talking about, I already know from knowing this man for so many years that on one hand, he's going to look at it as, oh, this is entertainment. Yeah. But on the other hand, he's also not going to be able to just accept the entertainment because he's also going to be thinking about what's the agenda being put forth. What is the context?
That's true.
You know?
And as a thinking man, you're supposed to think like that. Like we were just talking about the Bill Cosby's, the R. Kelly's.
It's
like,
entertainment.
I was raised on both of them.
Yeah.
Like, R. Kelly was a staple in my house.
Shout out to the simplistic brothers who never go to the superficial because y'all never have to go through these.
Yeah,
shit go over your head like a Raider hat.
You know, and
like some cats be like, "Yes, Obama," and I'll be like,
"What did he do?"
Yes, Obama, but he could have did more. Whoopty whoop. So I'm selling Obama with you, but I'm also saying, hey,
you're allowed to be critical and analytical.
You have to.
You have to be.
But we all in an era of any type of criticism, any type of, and that ain't right.
It comes like we hating. And we ain't agreeing.
Or even like trying to explain, like you said with Bill, it's like, yeah, that shit. Like if Bill really did that shit, like you need to be held accountable. Like anybody. But can we negate that time where he raised millions of kids?
Because in my formative years, I would look at Bill with the Puddin' Pops, Bill with the Cosby Kids, but when I went outside, every nigga was pimping and doing whoop-de-whoop. So Bill was the only positive black man that I saw. So if I'm not willing to throw Bill off the Golden Gate Bridge, a person got to forgive me.
It's just like the conversation we was having before we went on. We have, you look at people like the whole Diddy slander, which you already know me.
That shit is wild.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I was never the biggest Diddy fan.
Right. My mama can't stand it.
I wasn't from. I mean, from the '90s, from early. I was like, okay, and the whole but I was like, damn, this nigga is doing shit.
Yeah.
Now, it goes to his demons. We'll use Robert's demons, Bill's demons. A bunch of you motherfuckers that y'all be happy birthday this person, hey, woo, and all these niggas that y'all be like,
talk to them, man.
Y'all be just like wow, but the niggas who y'all know and grew up with and probably slept in their couch or something, and you don't share, like, and support they shit.
Yep.
The celebrities who don't know who the fuck you are, y'all all on their dick.
Yeah.
Or they clit, but. Regular niggas, y'all be, oh man, that nigga need to just do better. Fuck you. But anyway, the system, the team, the whatever the fuck entity you want to call this group that does the shit, they know all y'all vices. Yeah. They know what you do. Like I say this shit all the time because I'm a thinker. I say what the fuck I feel. If I was a bad person or if I was in the mode of whatever I'm doing. And they know that, man, I like to, you know me, I've never done coke, I've never done meth, I've never done anything weed. Weed is the strongest drug I've ever taken besides some I got prescribed from doctor health reasons. So that's just, and I don't even like taking pills.
Yeah, me
neither. But I'm just saying, I'm not a dope fiend. I'm not a none of this. I've had relatives that have been dope fiends. I've had close association with dope fiends through all my adolescence and growing up. So I know what that shit do. So I've always been.
So we don't condemn dope fiends because some of the people that we love
drugs.
The most.
And some dope fiends are fucking genius.
Put you like this. But my mother was one of the smartest people to this day. My mother's one of the smartest people I ever met. But man. She was strung out for a lot of my life. So I'll never condemn a dope fiend.
And I mean, we also got to go back to the origins of the dope thing.
Right.
When folks was doing the cocaine, they was doing that shit was like weed back then. They didn't know that they was gonna get hooked and be fucked up. Like, I mean, you got to give people like that grace. In a sense, like
and some people act like, and he always says there's no absolutes because we ain't Sith.
We ain't a Sith.
But some people act like there's that person is dope fiend. Throw them out. Throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
You don't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when it comes to the context of all those people that I said before, when it comes to their vices and what happened, the machine knew those vices. They knew those particular.
In fact, the machine will put someone next to you that will provide
they allowed
you
to do that, because even when it comes to the melanated artists, musicians back in the day, the regime kept them
a deal on.
They kept them exactly. They kept them high and tooted because that was what kept them going.
As long as they
the cold part about it is when we started first having black CEOs, they literally adopted all the tactics that the white CEOs did. So what they say, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Yeah. Now, let me tell you something about R. Kelly. There was a period in the late 90s, my grandfather died, and that's who raised me. And in my rough life, because like I said, my mother was strong, I never remember, he was the only shining beacon in my life. And then but I drifted off the path. And I was so far off the path, and you know how you go off the path, but you're going to get it together?
Yeah.
And then he died. And I went into a deep depression because I know he was disappointed in me. And he died before I had a chance to make this miraculous comeback, right? R. Kelly had a song called I Believe I Can Fly.
Yes.
I was so down that I was literally thinking about going off the Golden Gate Bridge. That's how down I was because my grandfather died. He ain't gonna never see me, and he died just seeing me as because he hated bum niggas in the streets. Niggas that was in the streets, and he died, and I was a nigga in the streets. And I was so depressed because he ain't gonna never see me do right. And R. Kelly had that song, I Believe I Can Fly.
So
every morning when I got up, I had to play that song multiple times to be able to function through the day. So I used to tell people around me, when I finally got the strength to push forward, I went and got myself in school, went and got a respectable job, and got on the path to be the nigga that you see I am now. But that's because I was motivated by my grandfather's death.
Right.
Okay.
But the thing is that I used to tell people, R. Kelly saved my life.
Okay.
And
then for the people to be like, oh, lock him up, this and that, and oh, he's this horrible human being, but I'm over here like, man,
I mean,
he might be a horrible human being, but this nigga saved my life.
I have a similar story.
Right.
Like I said, my parents took me to my first R. Kelly concert. Like, and every time he came to town afterwards, till his last tour, I went, except once.
Yeah.
And
you actually worked with the brother.
Yeah, I worked with him indirectly. I never met him. But when my father passed away, all I could listen to was when I found out my father passed away, I was in the car with my homegirl, and I didn't want her to see me cry, and then I just turned on her. I put on my dark glass. I empathize.
What song did you play?
I Wish.
Yes.
I empathize with you. And so, like I said, because he's still my favorite singer, I'm just gonna say what
there's nothing wrong with
the funniest thing about that, you talking about crying? Every time I played I Wish, I would actually cry. Yeah. Because I would start to think about shit. So it got to the point where motherfuckers was like, don't play that fucking song around, because the whole party is finna get...
Yeah, it's gonna get down. But I say all that to say...
I Wish used to make me cry.
Like, I
still do. I avoid the song, actually.
So, like, Nick Cannon did a Vlad TV interview, and this is like, I think R. Kelly might have just got arrested. He hadn't been convicted yet.
Right.
And he said something that was really profound to me. Is like, I can forgive the person. I'm gonna not fuck with you.
Yeah.
I can forgive you for your deed, because when we started to find out what was going on, but I can't forgive the act because as a father, because I'm a father. So like Master P said, I'm not throwing rocks at your motherfucker window. I'm
a father of multiple girls.
Right.
Yeah. So of course I can't forgive, but I also remember when I'm ready to go off the Golden Gate Bridge, R. Kelly's music carried me through. So
I agree with that.
Wow. So if they stoning R. Kelly for these awful things, I'm not going to throw a rock.
Well, that's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
But is that me saying what he did was okay?
It absolutely wasn't okay.
No.
And I think the truth of the matter is, even when the tape came out the first, it should have got the man some fucking help. Like, straight up. Like,
and on that documentary, a lot of those people that came and spoke against him,
they were willing fucking participants.
In fact, some of them were facilitators, and I'm sitting there like, y'all, when we mentioned earlier about snitches, y'all is the ultimate definition of rats, because a rat will do anything to save this. If a rat is trapped, a rat will gnaw off their own arm. A rat will do anything. Yeah. Y'all's the ultimate rats, because y'all was right there when the money was good. Y'all was right there helping facilitate.
I got a question from Chad, my brother.
And boom, now all of a sudden,
Chad, my brother Provo says, is that the same as celebrating Cliff Huxtable, but shunning Bill Cosby?
I mean,
yes.
I would say yes.
I want to hear you answer that.
I would say yes, because at the end of the day.
Because here's the thing, and I will say this. Yes, I agree. Because in looking at, we talk, we go deep. I'm finna go there. So put your wading boots on.
Let's go.
Yes, and because the thing about it, man, when you really learn yourself and go through things, I've always said, you feed both wolves.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
In essence, because if the wolf that you starve is the wolf that takes over. That's why I say it's no.
Because he got to eat.
Yeah, because someone who's starving is going to do whatever they can eat.
That's the reason why Star Wars is one of the greatest movies of all time. Stories, because you got to understand, it's deeper than the fucking lightsaber and a nigga who had twins and thought he only had a son but had a daughter. Star Wars is way deeper than that.
And a movie like The Matrix too.
Exactly.
Why it was so good was because the superficial niggas could still feel entertained, but the deep thinkers could see the bigger picture.
Because some people are going to look at it on the surface and other people are going to look at it deeper. And then when I got grown, I didn't really realize what The Matrix was really saying until I was an adult.
Unplug from the fucking video game, and I'm a gamer, but unplug for the shit and see, call the shit for what it is, and we are not putting band-aids on our ear. But we still kicking motherfuckers out the wheelchair who calling motherfuckers out of name.
Yeah.
Fuck both of them.
Disrespect will be met with disrespect.
Yeah, and I think even that circling back around, I think and not even just to use those two people, I just think human beings in general, like, I'm not advocating for the assault of women, children.
That's my thing.
I don't give a fuck if you're white, black, or whatever.
If you abusing children, you abusing women, we have a problem.
For me personally, as a fan of R. Kelly, do I believe he is where he's supposed to be? Yes. But do I still enjoy his music? Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, there are certain songs of his I can't listen to without feeling like, I turned on Seems Like You Ready one time and I was like, something about this feels like he was talking to a child.
I get you. Yeah. Exactly. Because you got to think past the surface. And don't get me wrong.
Like I said, I can't condemn R. Kelly because R. Kelly, I can condemn him.
I can condemn
and I can agree with you when R. Kelly is where he's supposed to be. But when people get to talk about R. Kelly, the artist,
but he ain't the only person that should be there.
That nigga touched my soul.
I've been saying that for years. All them fucking parents, all the people that work for him, they should be right there fucking when they threw him to the goddamn wolves.
I used to hear stories about parents dropping their daughters off to the studio.
Here's the thing.
So there's a lot of enablers.
Let's hold people accountable because society now does.
But let's hold enablers accountable.
That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Because society now, you see a lot of these clips and this shit, the whole narrative of the women talking about, the man got to do this, and that, and that. No. Fuck all the shit y'all distracted by. Let's get back to brass tacks. Call shit what it is. Call a spade, and call a motherfucker. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And you're fucking wrong when you're wrong. Own the shit, and the motherfuckers who helped. And don't get me wrong, you got bodyguards, you got You understand with
managers.
The shit. You got all these motherfuckers now all of a sudden coming out telling their stories. And I get the thing at the time that you probably had a boot on your neck and you couldn't say what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Maybe because the industry is a motherfucker. And I'm not saying
that
it's not possible that you really couldn't say what you wanted to say then. Because they would clip you. Ray Donovan. But I'm just saying.
Which
it's
is
true.
A show you all should watch.
For real. That is true. But own your shit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You got left, you got right. There's a scale. Libra.
The yin yang?
Yeah. Yeah, that. And at the end of the day, there's a feather and there's a heart.
Yeah.
You get that at 3 a.m.
And the crazy thing about people like R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, other people who've been
so many.
The Diddy's.
Shit, look at Elvis.
I mean, Elvis was having fucking orgies with 14-year-old girls. Nobody ever says anything about that.
Fucking Woody Allen. You got a
to me, it's even worse when it comes out.
The motherfucker that was on the Yo Mama, what's her name?
Oh yeah.
He had a few pilgrim chicks who was young back then. I'm just saying. Yeah. So the shit. Here's the thing.
This is damn near the foundation of a lot of this.
I keep this shit a thou wow. All the anger and animosity needs to be spread evenly against everybody who's fucking him with women and children.
I agree.
Evenly heat down your ass. I wish you, like I said, you slide down a slide, razor blade slide, and drop your ass in an Olympic-sized pool full of alcohol.
That's pain.
And let me tell you
Death
something
by
about
a million
Elvis.
paper cuts. Fuck 1,000.
A lot of us only know that superficial image of Elvis, but there was Elvis actually made gospel albums too on top of his secular albums.
The ultimate Bible.
And there was a lot of black folks in the South that grew up in the Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, who actually had Elvis's gospel albums. And as far as they was concerned, that there was a generation of black folks that
they love Elvis.
You couldn't say nothing bad about Elvis. My grandmother loved her some Elvis and had all his gospel albums and stuff. And I was on some, Chuck D say, motherfuck him and John Wayne.
Straight up.
Right.
And so, I think when we talk about separating the art from the artist and within, even like a Diddy, somebody was like, it was this thing on Facebook.
You gotta separate it.
They was like, oh, would you sign to Death Row or Bad Boy? And people was like, oh, well, I ain't going to them Diddy part. I said, listen, let's just be all the way 100.
Death Row was killing niggas.
I said, Diddy has a 35-year career of hits versus Death Row had a 4-year career. So I said, if I'm going to have to...
He was here before them, and he was here long after them.
Now, I saw that...
He was here with Uptown.
So, I saw that video of the cat said, no, nigga, you got to see somebody in the street. You was beating that girl up like she was a man. And regardless of whether people say, oh, she stayed because she liked the lifestyle, that shit don't matter. Keep your fucking hands off people. But also at the same time,
he got to be held accountable for that.
He got to be held accountable for that. And people say, oh, well, even looking at it like a Chris Brown, oh, well, Rihanna hit him first. Okay. She should be held accountable as well. I don't think Chris should have took all
But his response was inappropriate. Yeah. If a chick comes in here and hits me right now, I'm a body slammer and hold her down
behind that whole situation that everybody don't even acknowledge the depth of that whole
that comes from being a thinker.
Yeah.
The average dude, most like you said earlier about superficialness, the average person doesn't try to go any
Hey, you
deeper.
right, Chad. Roman Polanski, exactly. All the motherfuckers. Everybody.
I saw Debbie Allen standing up giving Roman Polanski a standing ovation, and I was sitting there like, are you for real?
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Nicki Minaj's husband is a fucking rapist and convicted.
He can't even be near school.
He can't even be near school.
He's actually on the list. We ain't talking about rumors. If you go on Megan's Law, you see a picture of dudes sitting there looking like.
Now, what I will say, that doesn't take away from Nicki's talent. But at the same time, it's like,
But her brother was a molester too, so that tells me that despite. And hold on, I'm going to say something controversial to the old heads.
Hold on.
If you go look at the bars, say that.
This nigga's opinion is his.
Okay. All right, now let me cook. If you compare the bars of all them old school chicks and you compare the bars of Nicki Minaj is a beast.
No,
she's the greatest female rapper ever. But on a personal level, I wonder about her discernment because she's married to a sex offender and her brother was a sex offender and she paid for his lawyers.
I'm gonna be honest.
So I gotta be like, okay, Nikki, as an artist, you're here. But as a person, I think you might be.
I'm going to say something just as controversial.
He knew what I was going to say. That's why he threw the disclaimer.
And this opinion is mine, and I'm not saying that it's true.
He threw the disclaimer in.
I personally think Nicki Minaj's brother did something to her. I don't know if it's true.
And maybe that's why she's so acceptable of
that.
deviant
But then
behavior.
you ever notice like people she'll do a song with somebody, and then like 2 months later, now they beefing online. Like she's really angry. And I'm not saying her brother did something, but I
thought she was just on dope.
I think she probably is. I mean, and this is like, don't sue me, don't sue the pod. But like, I'm not saying that that's true.
Please don't sue the podcast.
Yeah, but I'm not.
But if
we're gonna be on Judge Judy, I will show up in a Cognac Confessionals shirt.
You sue, I can cook. I'm a hell of a chef. I'm certified.
Yeah,
I can cook.
and I think
and I'm in your bitch's dream. So
at 3 a.m.
But all that to say, like it's like with Nicki Minaj, like I mean, beautiful woman, extremely talented. It could be something like that, like a Stockholm Syndrome kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know her.
Because she originally fooled with dude as a teenager.
Right. She was like, I think she might have been like 16 and he was in his 20s or something like that. I don't know. So I don't necessarily know what her life.
Cat Williams said you have an unnatural allegiance to
lose.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know.
But that's a sign of the traumatic background that some of these people
But even going back to like what we know about R. Kelly, like we know that he has some super traumatic experiences. Does that make it okay? No. Because you had the money.
But that does provide for a level of grace.
It does.
But you
can have the money for therapy, but if nobody around you is there. I had a doctor once at Kaiser said, hey, Mr. Powell, you seem a little depressed. Maybe you should go talk to somebody. And I told that doctor,
fuck you.
Doc, I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm black. We don't do that. And she flipped the fuck out, OB.
She's supposed to.
But I was joking. I was joking.
Okay.
But I was also serious. We don't do that.
I mean, I didn't go to therapy until I was like probably well into my 30s.
Yeah. Here's something. I'm going to say this real quick. All y'all, I don't give a fuck how black, strong, off the rocker, solid you think you are. The world we live in today, we all suffer from stress, traumatic injuries that have been repeatedly given to us and shoved down our throats like baby food.
Yeah.
You all need to talk to somebody. I don't give a fuck how strong you think you are, how religious you think you are, how militant you think you are, or whatever. Everybody needs to take a fucking siesta and explore the possibilities of opening up and ripping the Band-Aid off.
At least with therapy, like they legally can't unless you say some shit that, like.
Yes, I tell you how I'm finna do the shit that I'm gonna do.
I fully agree with Deshaun because my nigga be deep and he be correct many of the times, and I must qualify my statement.
Yeah,
he is actually correct. However, me in my personal life, I hope ain't nobody watching.
Yeah, niggas can't stand to be wrong.
I am surrounded by people who
will hold that shit against you.
I cannot do that because they look at me as Superman.
Yeah.
So if I was to say, I need somebody to talk to or I need therapy, they wouldn't look at me at the same. They would actually become.
But even Superman had Lois Lane.
What did I say was the fourth most powerful drug?
Ego.
Thank you.
Like I used to always say, I ain't gonna.
I mean, you know what? I ain't arguing with you.
I know you're not.
That's actually,
I know you're not.
What you're saying is actually facts,
exactly.
But I also know that
because
there's people who.
But
if I was to
understand.
say, I need somebody to talk to. They wouldn't look at me. They wouldn't look at me the same. Even though I am woke, I am aware enough to know that Jesus Christ, I probably do need to go sit down and talk to somebody.
There was no J's 3,000 years ago.
Hey, I probably need to go talk to someone, for sure. But I also know that if I was to go talk to someone, I would have to keep
with 11
secret.
niggas
Yeah,
I would have to keep it secret.
I mean,
if I did go talk
honestly,
to someone.
I fell into therapy on accident, and this was really on accident.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a job I used to have. They're closed now. It was a community center. I just went in there one day. I wasn't even working there no more, and I was like, "Hey, y'all know anywhere I can find some free therapy to do?" Like, we got a therapist here. Like, she was like in her training, like, and I was like, "For real?" I went in there just to meet her, and we ended up having like our first session. Like just say, "Hey, how you doing? My name is," and we ended up having like, and I kind of just went there like off the rip, and I was like. After that, I became an advocate. Like, everybody need. If you black, you need to go to therapy.
Like we was talking about. Like Fab does thug therapy,
which is
and they got
amazing
the session for the sisters. And when I say this to just say, it don't make you no weak, no sissy, no punk, no nothing to understand your feelings. And like I said, ego was the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to thug therapy a couple times, and the beautiful thing about thug therapy,
I went once.
It ain't just black men in there; it's white men, it's Asian men, and it's all kind of men in there.
Understand? I'm gonna go there real quick. If you understand, look at all the different races. When the shit that because we make fun of everybody doing shit that don't gravitate to the niggaism of the shit that we doing.
Yeah.
What the other race? You can look at all the different shit they doing. When motherfuckers was talking about, because don't get us wrong, niggas go camping, and shit. We do different shit, but the whole couples therapy, the men trips, the bonding that men do, and they call them bromances and all this other shit. We make fun of all that shit.
Yeah,
and different shit, but we've always had. But those are safe spaces.
Yeah,
we all got partners that we've had forever that we can sit there and don't get me wrong, you got some. I'm not saying all. Some of y'all may not have this though. The ability to have people who've known you forever that can keep it a buck with you and won't spare your feelings behind telling you some shit you need to do. Getting your coattail pulled, your collar popped and pulled back. And
iron sharpens iron.
Exactly. Those things that the system and the ego will be like, oh, nigga, that's some weak shit. Oh, man, I don't need to go sit around some niggas and explore some bullshit. No, nigga, that every other culture does this shit, and we used to do it, but we did it a different way. But society and everything tells you now that shit is weak.
Or thinking that you show your softer side that you're weak. I remember when I was a teenager, like me and my dad didn't always have the best relationship, especially as a teenager. I'm thinking I know everything. I'm saying some shit to my homeboy about my dad. I was like, man, that's fun. He said, nigga, at least you know your daddy. He said, nigga, my daddy could walk right past me and I don't even know what he looked like. And I was like, damn. So I had to, as I became an adult, my dad used to give me a lot of supreme wisdom, when I became an adult, because he was older at the time. So,
of course. So if your dad is younger than you, there's a problem.
Yeah, but he had been through some shit to where it's like now as an elder, or because he wasn't super old, but just as an elder, he could say, "No, don't do that," or "Don't treat women like this." I know I taught you that this was the right way. Don't do that. Go fix it. Don't, because my dad was notorious for it. It's just my house. You can get the fuck out, straight up.
It's my house.
My dad was a longshoreman, so he would move women in or whatever, and so, but I mean,
he basically did things however he wanted.
He did it how he lived, how he wanted to live,
with no regard to anyone else.
Correct.
Or how they might feel.
And so, I think when he married my stepmom, you love a woman. You still do. Sometimes you still do shit you ain't supposed to do, but he was a human being. But like I said, when I got older into my 30s and I would tell him things, he was like, "Yeah, son, don't do the shit that you saw me do. Go home and be a man and go fix."
Do as I do.
Yeah, don't do
as I say.
Yeah, go.
So if you try to impart that wisdom,
if you can fix it, fix it. Now, if she don't want to deal with you, I mean, hey, but at least you tried.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that's super cool. Like looking back at it, unfortunately, my dad died before he was 60. He died 3 years ago. I wish I could have had him longer, but it was after he died that I started.
Died at 59.
Yeah, so it was really after he died, I started to think about shit he used to tell me. People used to tell me stuff. People would inbox me when they were like, "Man, I know it was your dad, man. Your dad did this for me. Man, I was fucked up." Things I never knew.
Because, and I will say this, and as a parent, Mike, I got 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. We want our kids look up to us generally, as Superman.
Yeah.
But it's not my job as the dad to brag about what I do.
Right.
To my kids.
Because it's your duty.
Because that's your job.
It's just my job to do what I do.
Right.
And for people like you said to come and say, "Man, your dad, woo, 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 did that." That is the ultimate tribute to who that man was.
Yeah, that's true. And so, for like literally, people was like, "Man, I had no idea, man." And they was like, "Man, I was finna go to jail, nigga. Your daddy did like," and so it made me proud. But then even just thinking about like, you know, like at my dad's funeral, like my nephew not at the time, my nephew, him and my brother were having odds because Martin he'll be 18 in a couple of weeks, and I said, "Listen, you still got your daddy. You still have an opportunity to make it right." Because my nephew is like, you know, they got all the pronouns and all that shit. So I'm gonna just kind of just keep it based there. But like, you know, my brother, that's his firstborn. You know, but I told him, I said, you got to be ready for that day that he come and tell you. And I think when he told him, he wasn't ready. But I said, at the end of the day, that's your son. You got to love him anyway. Whether you agree with his lifestyle, and that's just like you said, your grandfather. He didn't agree with what you was doing in the streets, but he still loved you. And like, yeah, I don't agree.
But when he passed, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it hit you in a different way. Yeah, exactly. So it's
but
like,
I'm actually the opposite because I met my father one time when I was 16, and we had a 10-minute conversation. And he said, it was a Wednesday, I'll never forget. And he said, I'm going to come back and holler at you on Sunday, and we're going to spend the whole day. It's been 40 years almost. And that Sunday never came. And so when I connected as an adult with a sister that I had on that side, and me and her would talk, and she'd be like, "Oh, this nigga was so great. He did this. He stopped gang wars in the neighborhood. Would come and grab the gang leaders and make them go to the military." And she would be telling me this great, epic dude who made a difference in so many young men's lives. And I'd be sitting there like,
but the person,
I met dude for 10 minutes.
The person you were, I mean, in a sense, you were legally responsible to save. You didn't do that
at all. I saw a documentary on Sugar Ray Robinson, the boxer, right? And one of his sons, he had 2 sons, and one of his sons came on and said, "Oh, my dad was the greatest dad in the world to everybody in the neighborhood, not to us." You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, so when my sister would be telling me, she's since passed away just a few months ago, rest in peace. But she would sometimes it would be hard for me to have a conversation with her because the conversation would be all about how great our daddy was and this larger than life mythical man who solved the problems of everybody in the neighborhood. And I'd be like, dude told me he was coming back on Sunday.
Yeah, and that stays with you. And people think it only stays with children. Like that should stay with you as an adult because we have feelings.
The thing is, you deal with people where they at. And the thing is, you got to remember, because especially as a child's memory is damn near like an elephant, which is, you know, like I'm gonna tell you, I tell people in life, always remain childlike because a child is a sponge. They absorb. Right. Once you get to a point mentally to where you think you know some shit, subconsciously you will not accept new information. It's a proven fact. Yeah,
I always tell people never stop learning.
You remain as a child. People are you childish? You know, motherfucker, I am in my element of learning. And
that's real talk though. You know, I did an interview with a great friend of mine who, like, her story is crazy. Like, her aunt killed her mother when she was 2 years old. And she talked about her relationship with her father and like how she wanted more of that close relationship. And she said, "What I had to learn after my father passed, I had to love him for who he was. He may have wanted to really be my father in the way you see a father, but maybe he didn't have the proper tools to do that." And when she said it, I had to stop recording. I was like, damn, like I said, like that gives me a whole different perspective.
You have to understand. Right. You have to put yourself, and it's difficult. It's not easy, but you have to try to put yourself in that person's shoes to try to understand their mindset, state of mind, upbringing. It goes into, you got to really start peeling the layers, because we deal with surface shit so much.
For sure.
And everybody runs with the first person to tell the story is the quote unquote truth, when the real truth is fucking 20 minutes away, because we're going to let y'all run that bullshit before we come with, dude, this is the real shit.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, like I said, when I talk to people who still got their parents, like my homeboy, like he was like,
got both my parents.
Yeah, he was like, man, my dad be doing.
That's a blessing.
I still have a grandmother.
Yeah, that's a blessing. I still have both my grandmothers. Both my great grandmothers have passed on.
Yeah.
I only have obviously my mom, but my homeboy, we was talking one day, and he was like, man, my dad. I said, nigga, my daddy's dead, bro. Like I said, I said we had a decent relationship, but I said we never really got to be the father and son that you really want. Right. I said I don't know what difficulties your daddy deal with, but I said give him a little grace, like, because I said as a black man or a melanated man,
thank you. Yes.
You don't know what your daddy done been through that he ain't told you about.
And as a dad, the thing is, like I said, we don't never want to brag to our kids about what we went through, because they won't understand it, and most of them are not in the mindset to deal with what we went through. And like, I share stuff with my kids periodically or whatnot, and then even some of my close partners, and we'll be like, dude, your dad, same thing with my dad. My dad is, never mind, long story, it's great. The product of all that. You know who the fuck I am, but and where I come from. My lineage is fucking great. But to hear, like you said, the same thing. People, man, your dad, woo 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 woo, and I'm like, man, my dad has never bragged about the shit he did.
Yeah.
He just did it. I've witnessed shit and known the lineage of where I come from and all that as a kid, and as an adult, I'll be like, God damn, I'm a motherfucking rock star. Don't get me wrong, and that's ego is the fourth drug, but I don't subscribe to the ego. But yeah, I can walk on fucking clouds and look at niggas like, you know who but I don't, but I am.
You know what's crazy? Like, my dad had 9 children that we know about. But I've talked to women. So, like, my mom, my sister's mom, and my brother's mom, and my dad all went to school together. And so, like, it was crazy. Like, because my parents didn't date in high school or nothing like that. They just happened to see each other a couple years later. 2 years later, I was born.
There you go.
But I say all that to say, you talk to, like, or even like my mom's 30-year hairdresser used to date my dad, like, so, and crazy enough, my sister's mother is my godmother. It's crazy as fuck, right? But like, I've talked to women like, man, your dad he was a romantic. He was the great, like, he wasn't necessarily the greatest man in essence of like monogamy, but when I was with him, he treated me like a queen. Then you got the other side. It was like, that motherfucker like is. And then after my dad had his first stroke, she said, I wanted to kill your dad, literally. She walked into my dad. He had a stroke. So of course, when you have a stroke, you forget shit. He didn't even remember who she was. He was like, I'm so sorry I had a stroke. And I mean, I guess after she said who she was, he remembered. But it's like,
it take time.
And my stepmom told me after my dad passed, she was like, me and your dad had a really deep conversation. And he tried to contact as many women as he could that he used to deal with, and some of them to say sorry for whatever shit he did. Not because he knew he was going to die or some shit like that. He was holding himself accountable.
He had reached the stage.
And so some of them was like, I've been waiting 30 years for this call. Some of them was like, I hope you fucking die. Like, because of whatever. And I mean, you got to accept that.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean, I'm glad that I've never had a history where it was like a woman like, I hope you fucking die. I mean, I've dated women and be like, I wish you could have been the man to me that you are now. But you had to go through, maybe I was a stepping stone in a sense to get to where you are.
Realization is the thing with that, exactly, because I tell people, you got 0 and 10.
Yeah.
I use that. It's one of the shortest number patterns you can have. And I'm going to use it because it's basic and simple. You can't go from 0 to 10 without touching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7.
Absolutely. And also having people in your life that can help you get there. Not even intentionally. It's just like...
I'm actually the opposite. On my mother's side, I'm number 6 of 7.
Mm-hmm.
I just met number 4 earlier this year for the first time, and number 5, me and number 5 is so close that she was born in October, and then I was born in September the next year.
Wow.
So yeah, my mother gave birth to her in October and got pregnant with me in December. So for 30 days from September into October, she and I are the same age.
Right.
We haven't actually, and how I went on Ancestry.
Yeah, I know that.
And
BlackRock finna control all that. That's
I heard about
but
that.
me and her matched on Ancestry, and then there was a brother who will be here next week. He's moving out here with me.
Wow.
I had to do it because I had mysteries of my life that never saw. So
yeah, I mean, I found
and him. So literally,
it's a beautiful thing.
So out of we 7 total siblings, me and her, we 11 months apart. So for part of the time, we the same age.
Yeah.
Me and her have at least talked on the phone.
Right.
And he was in work release out in Louisiana, and I went to Louisiana, and they snuck him. I talked to the boss. They snuck him off the work release so me and him could meet in person. But I have a younger sibling than me that I've never met, and these other siblings. But I'm saying like you saying, my mother literally would have kids all across America, and then cut.
Damn, that's deep.
And the only reason they all ended up in foster care and this and that. The lucky thing for me is I actually ended up with the family that she left me with, and they was like, this bitch didn't come back and get her baby. One of their family members knew some of my mother's family. And they went to her and said, hey, y'all cousin left a baby at my cousin's house and my mother's family. So I didn't really necessarily grow up knowing her, but I did grow up with her.
The lineage,
I grew up with her family.
Yeah.
And then when I was like this unresolved mystery, because there's supposed to be all these kids, I got on Ancestry. I gave up after about a year. And then one day, I was bored. And I checked it, and there was a chick on there saying, hey, we're a match. Can you tap back in with me?
The leaf.
So these parental decisions that get made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, your dad had a wake of that. My mother had a wake of
crazy. I have 2 brothers that I didn't meet until like later.
But you did get a chance to meet them?
Oh yeah, we I know, but we don't talk regularly, but we have a relationship.
Okay.
So my little brother,
and these all on your parental side.
On my dad's side,
paternal side of it.
My dad would do shit like this. We'll go somewhere, maybe dinner or some shit like that. This kid will walk. Dad, who's that? Oh, that's your brother. Come on.
Like that show.
Oh, The Shy. When dude popped up and dude like, who is you? I'm your brother, man.
That show.
And he was like, I was like, my brother. He was like, yeah, and then find out it's really my brother. But I have a brother.
I never had that, but yeah.
That we knew he existed. My father had relations with a Caucasian woman before I was born. It resulted in a pregnancy. I think she had got married or something, and her husband was like, I'm raising this child.
That happens.
It happened. So I don't know if my dad was like, okay. I don't know what happened. Fast forward, my dad, I don't know if he really looked hard, but we knew he existed. We knew his name, blah, blah, blah. About maybe my oldest brother turned 35. He had a birthday party. And so my brother shows up. And so we was like, where you been? The whole time he was living in Fairfield, and we never even knew. And my dad, for years, my dad lived in Rodale.
The thing is, with us,
there's
so much shit that when it comes to us, that's swept under the rug. The family secrets. Don't talk about that. Don't say. We.
That's crazy.
That's paramount throughout the melanated history.
True.
And we gotta have those conversations.
Which is why so much sexual abuse is prevalent. Nobody talks about it.
They just say, don't leave your kid with him.
Unfortunately,
don't leave all that shit. I was just gonna
say that. Unfortunately, it sounds, as a full-grown adult with daughters, it sounds crazy to me to be able to say, oh, don't let the kids be around so and so because I'm of the mindset of, oh, I'm gonna beat so and so ass and throw him out on the sidewalk.
I told my daughter,
but that was a reality growing up.
Yeah.
At least not in my family, but in some of my friends' family, it was. You know not to leave them kids around.
Yeah, I told my daughter.
But I would fuck somebody up over that shit.
I've never been to prison, but I told my daughter, I said, I will smile at my mugshot. I said, don't be afraid to tell me anything. And she was like, oh, Dad. And I'm like, no. Her mom was like, no, I'm serious. She's like, no, he's serious.
There's a female comedian. I ain't going to say her name. But there's a female comedian. One of my daughters is a broadcast journalist.
Right on.
Works for NBC. And right? And there was actually right now she works for Gavin Newsom. She's his public relations. But there was someone who basically insinuated they had a problem with one of my friends, not even a problem with me. And they was like, oh, I'm going to do this level of harm to your daughter's career. And I told that person, I said, you don't know me as well as you think I do. You do, right? I said, you fuck with me, you put out bad rumors on social media, you're so paint me with the brush you going against dude with.
Right.
I'm going to laugh because people that really know me know. And those that might believe you, fuck them.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to tell you sincerely from the heart. If you actually do anything to impede my daughter's progress or anything like that, I'm going to find you and I'm going to split your fucking skull open. I'm sorry. But I told her, I said, and you can put that on Jesus, Allah, Buddha, or whatever, and they ended up not fucking with
the motherfuckers that wear
my daughter.
Tampons
but
in their ear.
I let her know. If you fuck with me, you make me look bad out here, or this and that.
Or the old people who forget who their running mates
is.
Put it on them too.
But if you do something to actually harm my kid or make their life difficult,
because as a parent, your job. I tell people all the time,
just like you said, smiling your mugshot. I told them, I said, if you do something to harm my kid, there's no limit.
Exactly.
To
and
what
people fail to realize is, when you have a child, you're a parent forever.
Yeah. Leave my kid out of it.
And so just because your kid turns 18 doesn't mean, I'm in my 30s. When I got sick,
I'd be 50 and
when I got sick, when I found
I could be 50 if I got enough strength to get up and get on my cane. I'm coming.
Yeah, I found out I was diabetic and they put me on this medicine that fucked me up. Right. And I was going to the doctor and everything, and my mom was like, you know what? I'm coming the fuck out there so I can hear from her. And I was like, Mama, you ain't got to do. She said,
because I'm a grown man.
Yeah, Mama, I'm a grown man. She said, no. She got on a
grown man.
She got from where she was at to where you at.
She came and went to the doctor and was like, listen. She was like, not that my son doesn't know what to ask, but my mom was in the medical field also for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So she has a certain knowledge.
She knows what to ask.
Yeah, she knows what to ask. Or she knows the kind of question to ask, like, oh, yeah, they're giving you bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. And she's asking all these questions, and the doctor was like, oh, you're so great. I'm in my 30s and still need my mom in that way. Even when my dad died out, I didn't realize how much I needed my dad until he died. Even in my 30s. Just because you're an adult, you can make it easier. You don't necessarily be 100% dependent on your parents like a creep.
Because here's the thing, even as adults, we make mistakes.
For sure.
And sometimes we just want somebody to say, yeah, you did that. Yeah, you should have did that different.
Yeah.
And it's great when you have that parent or that person that's you can go to be vulnerable. Because remember, what's the fourth?
Ego.
And you remove the ego.
And I mean, if you can't share your ego with your mother or your father, if you have that kind of relationship, you can't share your ego with nobody.
Your ego with? Exactly, because you got to share that shit. That shit need to be removed, put in the fucking back seat. Put that shit in the glove compartment like you used to do the shit that you thought you was sneaking in the Alameda with when you went to go bowling at Mel's Bowling when you took your hat off as soon as you crossed the bridge because you didn't want to get pulled over. You don't get that at 3 a.m. But I'm just saying.
Hey, I know kids that be like, let me make my own mistakes. And then the next sentence is, hey, what do I say to these people?
Tell me
hey, what do I say to these people?
I mean,
all right, boss.
But even having said, I remember when I was younger and the people I was hanging out with, they weren't necessarily bad people. bad people. They just came from different circumstances that I did. And my older brother used to tell me, like, you need to shed your friend. I'm like, oh, man, they're my homies. Like, but when I got older, and not to say this, a lot of these people aren't my friends now.
Yeah.
But the relationship dynamics that he said, no, you're going to see when you get a little older, and you start to see certain things they do, and certain things they say, and certain ways they move.
That's true.
And again, I'm big on reputation. And I called my brother one day. I was like, you was right. He was like, what are you talking about? I said, I don't think you remember when I was 16, you told me that. He said, I told you. Well, my brother's 3 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So he was like, I told you. He said, it's not that they bad people. You just don't come from that kind of life. I mean, I grew up in the hood like all of them, but I didn't have to do certain things to survive like they did.
Exactly. And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And once again, that ego, that fourth thing, will make people think they got to do and be this type of person to be able to walk through and garner their respect.
Which is a false sense of respect.
Bullshit, exactly. But before we get ready, we've been on one. That's what I love about this shit.
But that's what it's
free flowing conversation, because that's what we do.
But also in this conversation, just showing that brothers can get together and have intellectual conversations.
That's what we're about.
And just showing that grown men can have, even if you disagree with something, you can say, I can see your perspective. I don't agree with it, but I can see your perspective. I do that all the time now. When I was younger, I couldn't see that.
We can agree to disagree.
It's just like social media. Facebook, Instagram, what's the other shit? X, what's all the shit?
X,
TikTok.
TikTok, all that. You just scroll. You be like, oh, okay, that's how you feel, okay. Because like I said, I got people that I know that support the fucking niggas that's running around with the Band-Aids on the ear and all that shit. And I be like, I don't fuck with it. I don't fuck with the old dude either. But because I don't live in a box.
Somebody got mad at me because I reposted something. It said, like, you know how they have the presidential sign?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, fuck them both up. It was like, why would you say that? I said, because fuck them both.
That's the truth. You got to stand up for what you believe in. I'm going to say this. I'm going to hold that to the end. Tell everybody where they can find you at and what you got.
They can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok under Hometown Hero, HMTWNHERO. It is not the regular way you spell Hometown Hero. No, I do not own the Hometown Heroes restaurant. And I'm really just a guy who just love people, melanated people. I want to see melanated people come together, but also hold melanated people accountable for their bullshit.
You got to.
And hold me accountable as well.
You're doing your thing.
You know, and just I'm just a person that just want to show also melanated women that not all photographers are creeps. You know, not every photographer want to sleep with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I'm doing a shoot with you, I'm a human being. I'm not gonna say, "Ooh, girl, you look fine." I might think it.
Like, take this picture.
You know, but I might think like, "Oh, she fine as hell," but I'm not gonna be like trying to touch on. I'm big on like space, and like people was like, "Oh, you gotta ask me." I said, "Bro, you don't know especially with a woman, you don't know what she been through. You don't know if the touch of her shoulder triggers her from something that happened as a child, and she might wig the fuck out on you. You got to create these safe spaces." So, I mean, I just when it's all said and done, like I just want people to be like, "Man, that was a good dude."
Thank you. That's what's up.
So,
so I know you was what projects you got coming up?
So I'm developing a book right now. Mm-hmm. It's a photo book. It's called Brown Sugar Bay, and it's full of melanated women. Mm-hmm. And it really started off, I'm going to shout out my homegirl, Ty, who's really the inspiration. We were doing a shoot one day. We were just bored. I called her up, and I was just like, "What you doing today?" She was like, "Nothing." I was like, "Meet me in downtown Oakland. Let's shoot." And we were talking about the Brown Sugar Bay, the Brown Sugar song by D'Angelo. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And something just popped into my head. I was like, "Man, I'm going to do a photo series of black women on Instagram."
Inspiration comes from anywhere. Exactly.
So that Monday, I started a job that I no longer have. Because I believe being an entrepreneur Negro is the way to go. But nothing wrong with a job. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there doing the training. I ain't paying attention to that fucking training. And I'm writing stuff down. I said, like when it was break time, I stood up. I said, a photo book. And I texted her. I was like, yo, it's that thing we talked about on Saturday. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it as a book of black women. She said, oh, that's a great idea, blah, blah, blah. And at first, I was doing it on my own. I'm doing all the photography on my own, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention someone who's worked with me. Her name is Mia Sky.
Okay.
She's also an author.
Shout out to Mia Scott.
Mia has been like my right hand woman as far as helping with come up with different concepts, creative direction. I also have to shout out my little sister Lex, who is someone who is learning under me photography, but she's also a model and creative director, and she's one of them people. She's the little sister that you really want to be like, dude, that's fucking stupid. And I'm the big brother to be like, don't do that shit again. Like, and I met her. We did like a group shoot, and I met her at that shoot, and we just got cool. There's a lot of other women that are just coming onto the project, doing shoots and allowing me to shoot with them and seeing the vision. And yeah, man, like, I'm really excited. That's like my next big project. My last big project was Barbecue Wild Black. So this is like my Barbecue Wild Black.
Unfortunately, we can't just
Wild Black. I guess she went to the Oakland Museum with her family, and there's a book called, I think it's called Living Wild Black. I think it's a children's book, and it's like, oh, driving while black. And she was like, bro, we're in a fucking book. She texted me, and I was having a terrible day that day. She texted me and was like, bro, we're in a fucking book. And I said, I looked at her like almost in tears, like, bro, like, we didn't do it for that. Like, we did it to support Kenzie and Deacon, you know, after the barbecue.
I met bro. Yeah, I met bro. I played dominoes with him at the lake.
Yeah, we did it to, we really did it essentially.
Cool
like,
brother.
We thought 5 people was going to come. We did it just to support. And then when the flyer kind of, okay, maybe a couple hundred people. When 4,000 people showed up, we was like,
we own something.
That's how I got the name Hometown Hero. I'm walking around the whole day like, I'm the Hometown Hero. I was like, I kind of like, they got a ring to it. So I've been Hometown Hero ever since. But like, this is like my next big project. We're going to do a short film as well to accompany the book. I'm going to do a soundtrack. I know for the kids, soundtracks is music that goes along to a movie.
Follow the bouncing ball, people.
Yeah, so we're going to do a soundtrack, music soundtrack, and some other stuff that I don't want to put out in the universe because I don't want anybody to steal it.
Hey, no details, just results. That's what I tell people.
Absolutely. So, but the book is coming along. At first, I thought I was like, I'm gonna be able to do this in like 6 months.
Okay.
But I'm like, no. So the book is slated to come out early next year, and I call it my love letter to black women.
There it is. Okay. I like the sound of that.
And at first, I called it the Black Woman's Bible until a black woman told me, don't say that. And so, but yeah, so I call it my visual love letter to black women, and it's just something that I want to like. I want it to be like a coffee table book. I don't want to say I want it to be as important as the Bible because I know Christian people will take my head off.
They already flip it out.
Yeah, they already gonna flip out on me. But I want it to be one of those books where like it's sitting on your bookshelf or it's sitting on your coffee table, and you actually open it. Like
there it is.
So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that, and I'm excited to just photograph these beautiful women and
what's happening,
and just show the world that you know everybody ain't the same. Like even like you got people like you got the Lauryn Hills and you got the Sexy Reds. At first, like when I first heard Sexy Red, I'm like, yo, this is it. It's atrocious.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah,
I thought it was a parody song.
We're not even gonna. No, we're not.
But just,
I got it, but no, we're not.
Yeah, I thought it was a parody.
We're not.
But the truth is that
Saturday Night Live or something. Right?
Yeah, but the truth is that although
what
both fools,
both
you gotta,
fools.
like I like Cardi B. I like all those people, but at the same time, I want to hear Lauryn Hill. I want to hear Rhapsody. I want to hear people like Ciroc on the radio.
I want to hear 3D Nati.
Yeah, 3D Nati, who got the sexy vibe, but she also gonna give you some bars. Like, let's just have a balance.
Anthony, see, I'm not fucking with you tonight. Ant said Sexy Red deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. See, Ant, that's my motherfucker. Ant, my guy.
He got the point.
I wouldn't say all that,
anyway,
but you know. But like you know, we just gotta appreciate women from all different walks of life. Because everybody didn't grow up in
put them all in the box.
Everybody didn't grow up in a household with Maya Angelou.
Right.
Everybody
didn't get to see Rudy Huxtable.
Exactly. They didn't grow up in a house with a Claire Huxtable.
I done banged college professors and I done banged strippers, so I'm eclectic.
And what I've also learned, even with talking about strippers, you can't always judge a stripper. I've gone to high school with women who currently strip today and asked them like, yo, what's your end goal? And I ain't judging you, but they're like, man, I'm doing it to do this. I can respect that. Like, I mean, as long as you have a goal. But some people just like doing that shit.
Salute to what they do. Mm-hmm. So, before you head out, tell everybody once again where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok under HMTWNHERO. That's Hometown Hero. Again, I don't own the Hometown Heroes restaurant. For the people who've asked me for the 100th millionth time. And yeah, I'm just a black man who loves black women and who's a photographer that wants to photograph the melanated queens of the world.
That's what's up. P, where can they find you?
Hey, you can find me across the board at Feral Films.
Yes, Lord.
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram.
I'm actually very familiar with your work.
You trying to do a little something.
Did you do the movie with Mario Hart, the horror film?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's his book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote the book to it too. I try to hit it from all angles.
That's right.
And you know me, I'm Deshaun. You can find me at Cognac_Confessionals on Instagram. I'm on Twitch, Cognac_Confessionals. Facebook, Cognac Confessionals. And as always, you can always find me in your bitch dreams. Because that's where I reside. You know what I'm saying? Nice guys finish last because we make sure she finish first, second, third, or fourth. You guys better fucking know about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell y'all, conversation run the nation. Procrastination is a violation.
And conversation breeds understanding.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like getting what you want and you don't got to do what you need to do to get it because they give it to you when they want to give it to you.
Trick-free zone.
Saying you get that at 3 in the morning. Make sure y'all have a safe weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, support my guy. The brother is doing, hey, like I said, positive things, doing shit. I always want to wish you continued success and blessings and everything you doing. Hey, y'all, for real though, I don't be having these conversations just to be having them though. I really be trying to introduce y'all to people who be doing shit and movers and shakers with positive shit, you know what I'm saying? And also, we ain't on no slanted roofs. We ain't wearing shit on our ear. We ain't forgetting. I'm not sitting here saying, "Hey,
don't book me after 8 o'clock."
Who my running mate is and all that. We ain't doing all that shit. But no, one thing I want to tell y'all for real though, before I roll, hey, you motherfuckers asleep, please wake the fuck up because the Kool-Aid, the Gatorade, the whatever the fuck aid it is. It's all in your system. Get that shit out. Pay attention to what the fuck going on and stop falling for the bullshit. Banana in the tailpipe. All that shit.
And also, before we go
for it.
I want to lift up the name of someone who is special.
We got to do that.
God.
Yes.
People have been slandering her name online based on things they really don't know. Yeah. That girl was one of the sweetest people you ever meet.
Rest in peace.
She was energetic, extremely talented, and I just wanted to say to lift her name up. The artist community in her family, but just speaking like for the artist community, we are grieving, and I just want to continue to.
We got to do better.
We got to do better. We got to do better, and. Like I said, regardless of what you saw online with the interview that she did, like it was a marketing ploy to put her music, and even for at the end of the day, she was a human being.
True.
So
who did not deserve?
She didn't deserve that.
She did not, and it don't matter. It don't matter. Like at the end of the day, it don't matter what happened before, or it does matter, but it doesn't matter. Like she didn't deserve to go out like that. A girl was 27 years old, and she lost her life for dumb shit. And now people are trying to paint her legacy, her memory, as something that ain't cool. I knew the girl personally. She was an amazing person. She was a wonderful human being. So I don't know how many people are watching out there, or how many people will see this later. But if you have heard that story is not true.
It's not.
And I just argued with a cousin of mine who was like basically standing on the story when I was like, I'm telling you, I know people that know her personally. It's not true, but till they stand on it. So I had to ask him. I said, let's say if the story was true. She was a victim of domestic violence. So do you still feel like she got?
Yeah.
And then they say, we don't hate black women. You still standing on. I'm telling you the story ain't true. But let's say, for instance, if the story was true, do you still think she got what she deserved?
That's what I'm saying. And
you know what I'm saying? But the story is not true, and so many people are still standing on it.
I mean, there's
spreading it. I'm sitting there like, fuck, we got a bunch of idiots in our community.
I've cussed out so many bloggers that, like, to the point people was calling me like, bro, just get off Instagram.
At one point, I was battling trolls on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I was like, I'm battling trolls across multiple platforms, and I said, you know what? Today, I gotta chill today.
Yeah, people are gonna believe what they want. People are gonna go off.
Some people are being willfully obtuse.
Like, there's a YouTube channel that I follow, and the guy, he covers things from all over California, and I know he got his information like everybody else got it. Mm-hmm. So for to him, I don't fault him, but I went on his comment. I said, bro, I knew her personally. That shit ain't true. Like, and I'm not asking you to take your story down, but I'm just. Maybe you do a context or give it some context. And one of the blogs actually, once the family of the gentleman who they attached to came out and said, "Hey, we know who killed our brother. It was not her." Another blog, they came and it was like, "Oh, we got the correct information. It was posted. It was confirmed." Do real journalism. Like, you can't get on Instagram, call yourself a journalist, and then just put out stuff. Like, you got to do real research.
But we do. Many of us grow up in the families that if someone, especially an elder, says some unfactual shit, and then you say, no, that's not correct, then what do they respond with? Well, shit, well, all I know is, and then they double down. Yeah. Of the dumb shit, and we just gotta accept it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like I said, it hasn't even been a weekend.
Information age.
I just like any platform that I usually get on. I stopped talking about it on social media just because I don't want to get myself sad.
The thing is, you gotta
Mark, knock it off.
Yeah, he on you. But the thing is, like you said, for you, because like I said, we was talking earlier. You said you know her personally. Like I said, I was at the video shoot when Hooker Boy was doing it, and I didn't even trip that was her. After I was like, oh, damn, that was her. And then she was in the movie that you did and whatnot. So I've always been like, damn, that's fucked up. And so condolences to her family and everything going on, and to the world. Like I said, we got to do better.
And to the artist community,
we got to do better. We got to make better decisions. We got to put ourselves in the greatest position. So definitely condolence to her and her family. Like I said, I know with
rest in peace.
Yeah, we're gonna keep her lit. And because of the person who she was, like, I know that's what she when she was just like, man, keep me lit. So
she got bars. I'm gonna give her that. She got bars.
Yeah, you know, and it's.
Can I say one more thing though? Is that J. Cole said some powerful shit on that song with him and Dirk that y'all posting.
Yep.
Lil Buddy. But y'all never post Lil Buddy. Because the fact of there's a lot of people discovering how many bars she had, how beautiful she was, and everything like that.
After she died.
And I'm sitting here like, so you're acknowledging her talent. Why didn't radio stations and you blogs acknowledge her talent before she had to go through such extremes to get attention?
And to be because that's what they do. But the album was out like she's probably been out maybe a little less than a year. Yeah. But like it was out long enough for people to
criticize artists for having to pull extreme stunts. But if they don't do ridiculous shit, you will not give any acknowledgement to their talent.
Yep.
And everybody that's popping, and she wasn't out there popping pussy and all that in her own song. So she wasn't. She was not that.
But then they'll criticize and say, we want skills. All these rappers is doing this. But if you ain't sexy redneck and twerking on top of a car,
fake love is at an all-time high.
Yeah, fake love is at an all-time.
So,
yeah.
I mean, on the sad note, like I said, that's some tragedy. Rest in peace. We want to salute to your legacy and all that. Thank y'all for tuning in.
And thank y'all for having me too. I know
always.
I know we was trying to get this done.
We've been trying for a minute, but everything happens when it's supposed to happen. I'm gonna tell you something. Before nothing happens on our time, and they tell you that. Even the religious people try to come with the universal.
May not come when you call, but always on time.
That's the universe.
I stall them people out.
It's not that letter that didn't exist 5,000 years ago. Well, anyway, thank you for tuning in, coming here, bro. I appreciate you. Like I said, I want to wish you continued success and blessings.
That.
And we will definitely have you on again.
Absolutely.
Because I'm about building. I'm a builder. I'm a square. I'm a builder. You know
and I didn't drink cognac, but I drank water.
And you don't got to drink when you come here. No pressure. We had conversation because, like,
I like this version of a drink platform. It's another platform. They be trying to get them people.
We don't do that.
On their face.
Nah, I don't do that.
We're still trying to stay functional.
I don't do that. I don't promote that. We take a few sips, we chick, and conversation.
Grown shit.
You know, real shit. We've been doing this shit for forever. Yeah, because it comes in the gibberish.
This is a great platform.
But, hey, thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody that's tuning in, hey, share the video, like the shit, share the shit like I be sharing everybody else shit. Share my shit. You know what I'm saying? Next week, we'll be back. It's July. It's hot outside. It's shit going on. Y'all be safe and watch out for dumb people because ignorance is bliss. They got that shit on. They got that shit on sale at Walmart and hella people been buying it. It's like 5 for 1.
They giving it away.
Yeah, for real. But as usual, now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Hey, catch y'all next week when we be talking about some other shit. And watch out for Project 2025. Look that shit up.